Whoops, a little bit late on that intro there, sorry. Just getting the picks and bans actually worked out for the first match. Welcome, one and all. Been an absolute pleasure. Hey, big thanks. Yeah, honestly, thanks to all of you guys. It's because of you guys that I'm able to do this. And yeah, 15k subs. It's not a place I honestly thought I would ever get to. You know, when I first started, I was like, maybe it'll be a hobby, I'll do it for a few years, and then probably get bored of it and move on. But honestly, it's really turned into something very, very special. So thank you all. We are now here with Killerinu and Spudhouse, and I need to PM them their Lord picks. So how this works for today, we are going to be doing a King of the Hill, and I get to pick both players' Lords. In secret, I'll be PMing them on Discord. So I'm just giving Killerinu his pick. So, yeah, their Lord picks are now locked in. Give me just 1 second, I'll be right back. Alright, thanks guys. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty fun one, you know. I will say, spoiler alert, you probably won't see any Grom the Paunch today. There's a handful of other Lords you might not see any of today, but that's okay. That's alright. Yeah, Killerinu versus Spudhouse here. Spudhouse, of course, one of my patrons. Big thanks to him for his generosity. Killerinu, just an awesome dude overall. Yeah. Probably going to be playing some Vermintide with some of them soon. Yeah, definitely be playing some more Vermintide. I can't believe I'd never played it before. Like, I played, you know, Left 4 Dead, I played some other zombie games, you know, played COD Zombies a little bit back in the day. But never really got into the Vermintide for whatever reason, and I honestly can't really give you a good reason as to why. Like, I always looked at it and was like, oh, that looks like fun, and then just moved on with my life, you know? But it's good. Definitely a good time. Obviously, playing the Pistolier class, so yeah, probably going to pick up some Pistolier gameplay. I don't know, maybe later this week, it depends. I don't want to be doing the ultra noob levels on stream, and I need to, you know, beat some of the lower difficulties before I can do the higher difficulties right, so we'll get there. No, Grom, oh no, right? What a shame. Yeah, so Wood Elves versus Beastmen is very thematic, so pretty happy about these picks. How do I feel about 15k? You know, man, it's an honor. Like, yeah, I just think about, like, some of the people that I started with, you know, kind of like back in the day, like that tail end of Warhammer 1 to Warhammer 2, there was kind of a generation of content creators. And, yeah, it's been interesting to see, like, how things have kind of panned out. People have taken different directions, obviously, and that's fine. But big thanks to Turin, I want to say, and Italian both, Lore Master of Sotec as well, for all their help kind of with the channel over the years, for sure. They've played a big part in this. Yeah, Killerinu is savage on the battlefield. Where's your Kazrak? We'll see. Perhaps a Kazrak. Perhaps. Happy cow noises, maybe. I can't guarantee anything. But Beastmen, man, they sure could use some more Lords. Like, Beastmen just need things. Alright, I'll go ahead and ready up on my end. Alright, let's get it going. But yeah, it's been a great time, honestly. 15k subs, pretty crazy. I mean, I definitely would like for it to continue to grow, honestly. And I don't know, over the past week or so, maybe a week and a half since I've started doing these intro videos, I don't know, it's giving me a new energy, I have to admit. Kind of re-motivated. Get back into things, so... No, I don't pick the factions, I just pick the lords, right? I just pick lord selections, so... Yeah. Got some stuff here. This is just casual stream day, so I'm probably just going to go over the armies as they're deploying here. Got some Harpies for the Beastmen, a couple of Bestigors, Beast Lord, Brave Shaman of Shadows, Sons of Goros with great weapons, Ungor Herds, Beast Lord. Good stuff. Yeah, Beast Lord is the pick, obviously. So no Khazrak, but generic Khazrak here with some buffs. We've got Brave Shaman of Shadows. Regular Centaurs. For Wood Elves here, got some Dryads. The pick for the Wood Elves, Male Glade Lord, coming in on a dragon. Very nice to see. You've got a Branch Wraith, sort of an old school, kind of mid Mortal Empires patch build. Some Wild Riders, some Hagbane tips. Yeah, even if all Beastman Lord options were viable, they only have 4 options. Exactly. That's the issue. Thoughts on the Kislev War Wagons? I love them. I think they're hilarious. Like, I know some people are like, it's not, you know, thematic consistency and realism and whatever. Honestly, the thing you have to realize is these ultimately were designed by Games Workshop, potentially with a tiny bit of input from CA, but mostly by Games Workshop, so... Really, if you don't like the design, you really shouldn't blame CA for it. You should go talk to Games Workshop. I really like them. I think they're really kind of, in a way, silly and dumb and hilarious, but because of that, I actually love them even more, you know? Like, if they were sleds, that would have been... Because War Wagons in and of themselves are already a meme unit, and that's very, you know, realistic, like a cart pulled by horses, dudes with guns, right? Like, that's not super fantasy, and it's, for some reason, for me, it's just so... silly, and maybe because of the way it's executed, but the War Wagons, you just put the bears and the ice and the whole like stealthy gun axe dudes in there, and it turns the whole silliness factor up to 15, and that's why I love it.
In your name.
Hey, thanks Ryan, much appreciated. Excited to live deliciously. Yeah. And that's the thing, I think if they were to just copy War Wagons, people would have been upset, you know? They would have been like, oh, it's a copy-paste of War Wagons, but they made something very much distinct. I mean, it's similar, obviously. It's a chariot, though, at the end of the day, right? It's ultimately just a chariot pulled by bears, dudes with guns on the back, right? So... I think it's pretty cool. They're going to be much better than War Wagons, obviously, because they're pulled by bears, number one, right? So they're going to have armor-piercing anti-infantry, I would imagine. They're probably going to be more expensive than War Wagons. They might have one that's crewed by Kossars that maybe is a little bit lower tier, non-armor-piercing missile damage. Maybe they have one that's crewed by Streltsy, because I saw in the thing today they released that they said there's actually 2 variants, right? Those of you guys who missed that, Creative Assembly on their YouTube channel and on... Yeah, Total War. I think the Total War official YouTube channel, and on, you know, other social media platforms, they released a little teaser about the sleds. Their sleds. Thanks, Angus. Much appreciated. These guys are going to get started here. So, Dryads immediately in the vanguard, moving in. Ungor slightly vanguarded, not too far forward, though. But, oh man, this is just going to be a straight-in melee engagement. Ooh, these Centaurs, one of them's just going to eat it there. They actually trade really cost-effectively into those Wild Riders. That's actually very surprising to me. In the front line, though, I would imagine, yeah, Dryad's going to be coming in, mopping some of those Ungor herds, the Bestigor, waiting to engage for the time being, but kind of patiently thinking about things over here. Yeah, eventually I was going to say, I would think the Centaurs would lose out, but they got a really nice initial engagement there. Pretty cost-effective still for them. A dragon's going to move in on the center. And probably see a Helm of Discord get popped here, I would imagine. Yep, to debuff these Bestigor and also to hit that Beast Lord pretty hard. So this is a bit of a problem. The Sons of Goros flipped over to this side of the battlefield to try and deal with some cavalry, and as a result, the Beast Lord here is a little bit exposed, but he's holding up okay. He's got his, buffs popped. He's actually doing some damage to the Glade Lord in return. The thing about the Chariot for the Beastmen, and Ryan G, War Wagons don't have a driver, Bear Wagons do. Why is no one's immersion broken over that? Well, it's just because the horses are that well trained for the Empire. I mean, Volkmar's wagon also doesn't have a driver when you actually think about it. But the Beast Lord definitely taking a ton of damage here. Yeah, Branch Wraith coming in and helping out with these Bestigor. The Beast Lord does escape, importantly. And if we take a look over on this flank, I mean, Sons of Goros coming out here didn't end up actually winning. Just the superior number of Wild Riders was able to prevail over the Centaurs there. The Sons of Goros still holding, but a nice rear charge incoming from these Harpies. A few more Centaurs also charging in, and the Wild Riders are very tattered here, so the Harpies actually could come in and swing this. Potentially, this one unit of Wild Riders, though, is still quite healthy, and the Beast Lord's pain is very real. But Centaurs do move in, and some rear charges help finish off some of those Dryads. These Dryads here also getting isolated by Ungors, so definitely a nice back-and-forth scrap here so far. The Ungor Spears moving in to support the Harpies. This is just a bad engagement for those Wild Riders. That late Harpy engagement actually proving pretty decisive there. Some of the better usage of Harpies I've seen lately. But Glade Lord still has quite a bit of HP, and that is definitely a problem for the Beastmen. Even if they deal with all of these ground forces, they still got to have the resources left to deal with the Dragon. And as these Wild Riders kind of get chased off here, it does appear, I mean, the Harpies actually with their decent weapon strength can do some damage. Breath Attack coming in, though. And the Beast Lord is in severe danger. Spudhouse sticking close with these Bestigor and also with the Bray Shaman. The Bray Shaman could even potentially block some charges, but the Dragon's going in for it. Let's see if he can finish off the Beast Lord. Apocalyptic Vision gets popped for some extra leadership. Make sure everything stays in the fight. The Beast Lord's going to maneuver out. Enfeebling Foe popped on the Glade Lord. Nicely done there. Also countered by the Helm of Discord. So just everyone loses all the stats, except Apocalyptic Vision kind of evens that out a little bit to where the Glade Lord ends up taking a ton of damage here. Oh no! Both the Beastmen characters get terrified as the Branch Wraith routes. What a turn of events. Beast Lord gets killed there, but the Glade Lord has taken severe damage. These Bestigor just chopping in the back. More Ungors coming through the woods as well. And the Ungors and Beastmen, or Bestigor actually just terrified there, which is kind of hilarious. But yeah, Harpies moving in. They can potentially get in and finish off the Dragon here. That could be pretty big. Beastigors. The Beastigors are coming back. How long daily? That's a good question. Maybe I'll make a video about that at some point. Anyway, we can get to that in a minute. These Wild Riders charging in. One kind of healthy unit of Bestigor here is pretty important. As long as they don't take too much damage from the Wild Riders. The Harpies did end up taking quite a bit of bow fire there. The other one, though, nicely done chasing off that Branch Wraith. Likewise, the Glade Lord also chasing off the Bray Shaman. So, both players cleaning up in some key engagements. Think about fighting in the woods for both of these factions as they get, benefits. I would say the Wood Elves, I think, get slightly more benefits, but this is nice, being able to take the charge on the more, yeah, it doesn't look like the healthy Bestigor took too much of that charge. As long as it's basically, like, not them taking too much damage, everything else is kind of ancillary here, to a degree. I mean, it is nice to have those other units still, but yeah, Beastmen coming ahead on a little bit on the balance of power. As long as this Dragon's still alive, though, it's anybody's game. So quite the scrap here to open up. Man, great battle between these two. And these Harpies seeing off the Branch Wraith, pretty important. They also have a pretty good amount of HP. Fairly squishy, so that's not, super meaningful, but yeah, Dryads trying to chase off here. You can see the Dragon making its way back over. Yeah, Beastmen don't get buffs, that's right, just no negatives, right? So, they are at a slight disadvantage fighting the Wood Elves in the woods, but, considering they're trying to protect from this range, at least for the time being, might be beneficial to try and force the engagement there if you can, but oh man, that Branch Wraith still has a ways to go to get off the battlefield, and this Glade Lord's incoming. Spears are going to get hit by the Glade Riders here. Wild Riders also moving over. Spudhouse getting a little bit separated here, like this Bestigor definitely needs to stick with the pack. Yeah, stay close there. The Dragon could just pop a little rear charge and probably terrify them away immediately, unfortunately. Yep, just like that. So, The thing about Beastmen's leadership is in the late game, this is going to be a problem with the Terror. A big, big problem. Basically, as soon as this like health unit of best score takes too much damage, nice little screen action there with the Dragon, then coming in with the Wild Riders. They get a nice charge in there. That's pretty decisive. And a breath attack as well. Ooh, all the shock damage in the world. You can see as the best score take that damage, the balance of power just tilts. And it is over. Yeah. Great game, though. Man, really good game.
In your name.
Alright. Another one coming in here. Oh, 100 from Vermicious. Wow. I'm in meetings, so I probably won't see much of the stream, but I look forward to watching it later. Thanks for all the great content. Thank you, man. That is super generous. Wow. Man, I'm glad you enjoy it. You know, I enjoy doing it. Yeah, this is one of the things I love most in life, to be honest. So, wow. GG, what a game. Huge donation. What a day. Honestly, you guys are the best. Yeah, the Beast Lord, honestly, considering the situation he was put into, I could have specified mounts, I guess. I didn't actually choose to do that, but man, look at that Ungor. It's actually not bad in one case. It's probably the best value I've seen on Ungors in a while. Bestigor, though, I mean, Bestigor do pretty solid considering you're taking them against kind of a non-armored faction, in quotations, right? Just a high damage, high charge against the low HP of Wood Elves is pretty decent. Centaurs get a fairly cost-effective engagement. At the end of the day, though, ultimately, like, yeah, if the Harpies were a little bit quicker to be in that cav fight to support, and maybe the Sons of Goros don't peel and just stick on the Beast Lord here to kind of mirror the Glade Lord, I think Spudhouse probably could have pulled this out, but it was very close. I mean, both players definitely scrapping hard. The Wild Riders doing pretty decently, not totally paying for themselves, but doing enough, right? The Glade Lord on the Dragon, male Glade Lord. Honestly, he's arguably the worst Wood Elf Lord type, but at the same time, still very strong. Yeah. Great battle. The Blade Riders also using up all their ammo, then moving in late game melee. Very good stuff. Yeah, that was a great scrap. I definitely enjoyed that. Let's get the next competitor up and running. Let me get some music back on in the meantime. Yeah, Deadly Bunny's up next. Wait for him to get in the lobby here. And yeah, man, that was a fun one for sure. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Let me just make sure. You know what, actually? Forgot this is not on screen here. This one. There we go. Ah, yes. When map is set. Oh, that's right. I do need to pick a new map. That is correct. Should we go with Behufdar? That map doesn't look complete. No, actually, it looks like it has some impassable terrains. Let's go to Eshin. Eshin's a decent map, even if the lighting is not ideal. Yeah, man. It's good times. Good times. Look at the picks and bans. Map is set. I got some good replays upcoming this week as well, and I still need to finish that developer interview I have. Still need to finish cutting it up and editing it together. Who's Eshin guy? This is Deadly Bunnies. Under a pseudonym right now. And Eshinination. Wow. That's a mouthful. Yes. Hillarino going with Averlorn, gonna get ban Chaos and Bretonia. Interesting. Avalorn. I know Killerina is a huge fan of the Avalorn faction, so might see some autumn trees today. Which, by the way, look absolutely amazing right now. How many Empire engineers does it take to change a light bulb? That's... Winds of Magic will tell us. I don't know. I was trying to think of a good one, but... Yeah, 1 in 6 chance, exactly. I was gonna say, roll a d6. On a 1, it explodes. On a 6, you shoot twice. you change the light bulb twice. Right? Something like that. Yeah. Oh, you were asking about like a typical video though. It kind of depends. Like, in terms of like looking through replays or fighting battles myself and then like rewatching the replays. Probably I would spend on average like at least 30 minutes to an hour per video just on that. And recording doesn't take that long. Recording's like maybe 20 minutes. At least recording the main body of the video. And now with the little openings, like I gotta think of an opening. Sometimes that takes me a long time. It's just like trying to figure out what I want to do for the cold open. Once I know what I want to do, it's usually relatively quick to record some clips and cut them together and put some sound effects on there. Some of them have taken a lot longer than others, but I don't know, it's hard to say. Maybe like... like 2 to 3 hours total? I don't know. You can spend a command point to reroll ones. Yes. Yeah, the cold open videos, like, and thing with the Warhammer 3 video too, the unit kind of highlight, very brief highlight video I did highlighting all the new units. That video took a long time, but I actually learned quite a bit, so videos like I make like that in the future will take a lot less time. And yeah, it's... I don't enjoy the editing part necessarily a ton. Like, I kind of enjoy the final product. Like, these cold opens I've been doing are very dumb, but they're a lot of fun for sure. So, oh, I gotta tell these guys they're lords, so I'm just doodling around. We're gonna have more Beastmen. And let me get Deadly Bunnies also. Okay. What Chaos faction am I most hyped to play with? Probably Tzeentch. I like Tzeentch. The just weird, very almost psychedelic aesthetic of it. Feels to me in a way. Will you live stream campaigns or make them regular videos? I don't know. You know, I've been trying to figure that out, to be honest. What I would want to do. Probably I would do them live streams as live streams. I don't know though. Like if I do them as videos, I can potentially cut out parts that are very boring, right? Where there's not a lot of action. And like I'm not taking time to interact with the chat and everything, so the campaign does go a little bit faster. I don't know. What would you guys prefer? Welcome, Nickelback. Only missed one battle. It was quite the scrap, though. What's up, Fritz? Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, congrats on 15K. It's an honor, honestly. You guys are amazing. Yes. That's fun. Never to... Oh, no, wait. Yeah, take a look at this graph here. Anyway. What do we got going on here? Yeah, it'll be interesting. I know the multiplayer community has grown in some ways quite a bit, but there's been a lot of people who have kind of stuck with it for a while and then stepped away. What I'm really hoping is that the multiplayer features of, you know, Game 3, I know, at the very least, we know they're adding Domination Mode, which in and of itself is huge, right? Like, considering all we got for this game for multiplayer was, like, free-for-alls, which in and of itself was a lot more than what we got for Game 1, right? So, like, they've been definitely increasing over time. I do want to see what else they have in store. They said they have potential other battle mode types, you know, besides just the survival battles, which in and of themselves have a multiplayer component. Now, it's not you fighting another player, it's you playing co-op, right? So, like, already just from that, we can see that they're investing a lot more in multiplayer. So I do expect that to have some return, especially if things are well executed and you know, it seems that they're very tapped in. Like, one of the people I interviewed, Duck, right, is his username. He's a former tournament player. In fact, still a very good player. I've played him occasionally over the years, throughout the life cycle of Total War Warhammer. But he got hired on initially, I think, as like a part of the balance team. He's a incredible dude, just great at his job, and he got promoted to, I think his title is battle designer, I want to say now, and he is like a multiplayer guy, right? Like, he gets it, like, in a way that is, if you haven't, like, been a part of it and played at a high level and really, like, understand, he watches a lot of content, too. Like, I know he watches at least some of my content. I'm sure he watches, like, Turin and others, watches the tournaments and stuff, so since he is one of the battle designers now, and I don't know exactly what all of that means, you know, that title, but at the very least it seems that seems to have some influence. I don't know, I have faith that the multiplayer component will be pretty good because of, you know, him and his efforts and his experience that he's brought to the team. And from what we've seen so far as well, and the little tidbits we've heard, the important thing is, if it's not quite right on release, I'm sure they'll tweak it, because they've been very good about listening, for the most part, to things. And, you know, that's not just for multiplayer, too. Like, I know they haven't said anything yet about sieges, but other than that, they have more to say about sieges later. So I'm sure we'll see quite a few major improvements. Campaign side, battle side, multiplayer side. I'm excited. Yeah, more frequent patches would be nice. I kind of understand why. Like, this is the biggest strategy game ever made by far. Like, just from the sheer number of distinct individual units, like, this is way bigger than any strategy game that's ever been made before. It's literally taken like 6 years, 7 years or more, right, of development to get where we are. So I understand working with a code base that large is pretty unwieldy, and issues can pop up, like, for example, Cetra turning into a living being. But yeah. Would I want multiplayer to be monetized somehow? I don't think so. I really don't think so. In terms of, like, selling skins or stuff like that, like, I'm not for that. I think it should be a part of the game. Kind of. We didn't get to see it, so I can't tell you for sure. And it sounds like they're still finalizing the full details of what it is and how exactly the balance is going to work. But yeah, it'll have some similar elements to the survival mode, like the capture points, right, and the reinforcements. That's two things they talked about with us that will carry over, but it'll be, yeah, between two players. There won't be, like, endless armies. There won't be probably endless winds of magic. I don't know. There will probably be, again, buffs on the capture points. There'll probably be multiple capture points spread across the map. Kind of in the quote-unquote neutral zone. I'm curious to see how they handle vanguards as well. I didn't ask about that because we weren't really talking too much about domination, but... right? Oh, poor Cetra. So from what I was told, and again, this is coming in my developer interview that I still need to finish, the domination will have, yeah, you will gain victory points by holding the objectives, but you'll also be able to call in reinforcements. Probably you'll start with a smaller army, like a smaller funds level. I don't know exactly how it'll work. And like summons, they're going to need to potentially work out as well. I mean, summons can capture a point potentially, but it's not like they can hold it because they'll just fall over eventually. So maybe it is actually balanced. I don't know though. You know, I'm curious to see, and that's all problems that I'm sure they are trying to address right now and figuring out. But maybe a timed unlock, yeah, or like they could also make it so you can't actually vanguard too close to the points, like create a kind of a circle around it. But anyway. Getting back to the builds here, we've got Spearmen, we've got Dryads, we've got Archers, Lothar, and Seaguard. Just a full stack of High Elves, basically, with the Princess on the Griffin is the pick here. I'm a huge fan. And then we do have Kazrak on the Beastmen side, a bunch of Centaurs, Throwing Axes, a couple of Chariots, Centaurs, Poison Warhounds. Great stuff. Ungor Herds in the front. People are really liking Ungor Herds lately, you know. I think it's interesting. I like the Spearmen Herds. But I guess regular Ungor Herds are okay, too. Nice little Bray Scream there. The two Chariot Lords staying mobile. Illyrian Reavers in the back line just get absolutely eaten alive. And the Centaurs with Throwing Axes just kind of chilling in the back for the time being, not really expending their ammunition, waiting for a good opportunity. But this kind of density of archers here is pretty insurmountable for the Beastmen. You can see all of the infantry they brought is just falling over in a big, big hurry. They weren't able to kind of break through on any points. They do have the spells, and that will definitely do some good damage here, but the presence of the Griffin here, it means that these two can't just push in the back line and start going all ham on the archers, which is definitely what they want to be doing. Yeah, just the density of bow fire here is pretty intense. Princess, ooh, getting absolutely nuked, though. I mean, she's only got 60 armor, which is not a ton, so... Even though it is armor-piercing damage, all that non-AP damage is also getting through as well, and you can see that the Chariots potentially had a situation they could block. It looks like they actually had orders elsewhere, unfortunately. The Razorgore Chariots potentially could have got a block right there, but the Princess just took a huge amount of burst damage. Beastmen still are behind on the balance of power, though. Centaurs do move in, start to wreck some of those Lothar and Seaguard. Yeah, Belly Bunnies here really got to get into the back line to start to deal with some of these archers, because this bow fire is very intense. We've got some Ungors moving in on the side here. They can tie down the Sea Guards, maybe have the Centaurs move in melee and get after some of the archers. Rear charges on the Sea Guards as well will be okay. Just don't want to leave them in combat for too long. Yeah, these Centaurs kind of charging in the front here. That's not going to go super well. They do have the support of the Hounds, so that's okay, I guess. But Chariot staying fine for now. Billy Bunny's still being very patient with his throwing axes. He's actually going to move in and throw some axes at the Sea Guards. That's an interesting play. You're definitely going to take a lot of bow fire to the face that way, but it looks like now actually moving in melee, we've got these other Centaurs and Poison Hounds maneuvering out the back. This Chariot kind of blob here in the center. Kazrak and the Beast Lord escaping. Nice kind of hammer and anvil there, wrapping up those Sea Guards. Ooh, Burning Head, though, going to force away a bunch of those Centaurs. Also just wrecks this, yeah, the Ungors and the Hounds there, but a nice rear charge into this blob of infantry. Things are looking pretty good initially for the High Elves, but the Beastmen were able to kind of reacquire their bearings, get back in and getting a nice big rout, actually. Quite a few of the High Elf forces here, where Averlorn are on the run. So things are looking a bit grim. Sea Guards are now getting bogged down by Hounds and Ungors, and Reavers are actually getting a rear charge here, potentially going to bail them out. Hounds from the other side, though. Yeah, things are getting tattered. Princess has got to be careful. She's taking more throwing axes. Deadly Bunny's been very patient here with his throwing axes, not expending ammunition, which is very wise. Typically, you would see them just left on fire at will, like if I'm playing them, for example, right? Would have used up most of their ammo by now, but Princess, no way to heal because they brought Lore of Fire right on the High Elves, so does have to be careful any more damage she takes, but she's going to charge in now. Very bold move, actually. Basically charges into the middle of all of those chariots, more or less. I guess going for the quick terror route, but Kazarak is on station. These other chariots are on station. Does terrify the Bray Shaman. Terrifies the Razagor chariots. Oh, but she goes down to the throwing axes. And that's probably going to be a GG victory for the Beastmen. We'll see, but a lot of the High Elves on the run now. Nice little pullback there by Deadly Bunny is a nice victory as well for Kazarak. Oh, yes. Fire Mage just going for absolute ride here. Oh, yeah. Basically worst nightmare. Surrounded by giant chaos boars. And that'll be a wrap. Killarinu held the crown only for a single battle. Deadly Bunny's coming in with the Beastmen. Kazarak getting that dub. Very nice. Fun one for sure. Nice back and forth again. Great battle so far today. Yeah, Centaurs, excellent value. The Chariots ended up really pulling through there in the late game in more ways than one. Centaurs with throwing axes also. Great job by the Deadly Bunnies, just being very patient with these throwing axes and using the burst damage to just nuke the Princess. Princess on the Griffin, pretty strong. Not that much HP, though, and some armor, but even then, like, just the DPS of the throwing axes is so good. Yeah, Poison Hounds do quite well. The Ungors initially just get canned, but actually do manage to come back and kind of get some rear and side charges, get some good value there. Kazarak, not doing quite so much, but he tanks relatively well. Yeah, Princess kind of got a little dumped on there. Not having any healing is rough for sure, but I get just going for the fire damage and everything. Yeah, pretty decent stuff. Lothran Seaguard did quite well. Reavers. Anyway, go ahead and get the next competitor in. Get him on deck. Oh, let's see here. Looks like Bilbington up next. Or Biblington. Apologies. Awesome. That was a fun one. Happy moves. Woohoo! Would Eltharian's sword make a difference in this situation? 44% physical resistance. Yeah, definitely would help. Eltharian would also give you your caster and lord in one, but he is pretty expensive for what he gives you. You think allowing to merge tattered units in multiplayer is a good idea? I don't know if it's even possible, to be honest. 100% like ratio. Nice! We got 53 likes on 54 viewers. Wow, that is great. Thank you all so much. You guys are the best. Oh, looks like I gotta add Biblington. Biblington. Man, I've done that twice now. Alright. Sent that. Pick them others, right? Need Beastmen cheerleaders. I mean, they have Orc cheerleaders, right? Blood Bowl. If you ever want to see something that you can't unsee, definitely go watch Blood Bowl. Watch the Orc cheerleaders. You'll be horrified. Absolutely horrified. So, let me actually get a map locked in here. Probably think about these things. Bloodpine Woods. Well... yeah, okay, we'll do that. As is typical for My King of the Hills, reigning king, Deadly Bunnies in this case, can stay Beastmen with no bans or choose a new faction with double bans. We'll see. See what he does. Is Kazarak good all of a sudden? He's actually pretty good now, yeah. Like, his damage resistance is pretty solid. The fact that he has 115 charge bonus or something like that with his buffs active, maybe even more. Like, he has an insane charge bonus, right? And actually does really good armor piercing damage as well, so, like, you can have him charge other characters when they're on the ground, and he'll do a ton of damage to them, right? And, like, the animations for the pig chariots are very good, right? Because the pigs themselves do a lot of attacks, and he also does like sweeping side attacks as well, right? So it has pretty strong animations as far as chariots go. Actually makes it surprisingly good at like charging like single entities and stuff. As long as you don't get charged, pretty solid. And the damage resistance helps him not die so fast. But he's still, I don't know, Morgar's just going to be more competitive almost always. Yeah. I mean, Kazarak's not as bad as he used to be, but he has some upsides, but he's not the most competitive. Alright, so let me get these guys their Lord picks. Wow, I had a lot of Beastmen today. That's great. That is good to see. Beastmen need an update. They do. We don't have the score graphics. Yeah. I was a little bit too busy today to put them together, unfortunately, because I need to do a new one, but yeah, we'll get it eventually. Situationally okay, sometimes just bad, yep. So Alric, basically the way it works is it's same as my typical, like, sitting king can pick new faction with double bans or stay the same faction they played before with no bans, and then I get to pick both players' lords, basically, right? So, yeah, that's the special rule for today. Just because it's my celebration, I want to see some meme lords, some more uncommon lords, right? So, we're getting it done. Least amount of corrupted meat. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, now that we're getting the 4 Chaos factions, how do you think it will affect factions like Norse or Beastmen with units and such? I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. I do think Norska and Beastmen both will be getting more stuff. They be getting some god-specific stuff? That would be pretty cool. I don't know, you know. Yeah. I really, really couldn't say, to be honest, but I hope they get, you know, like, because the Zangors especially, and I know there's supposed to be gores for the other gods, but especially, like, the Zangors, like, from the tabletop, their models look amazing, right? So, I don't know, maybe we do see some stuff. Maybe not. Like, in terms of, like, god-specific units, if that's what you're meaning. Yeah, Norska, it's hard to say, too. I do think they'll add more stuff for both of those factions. I just don't know what it could be. Like, maybe they add more monsters for Norska, or more, you know, Marauder types. Maybe they add, like, marked Marauders, right? Like, we saw Marauders of Khorne, in that trailer. One of the Bear Cavalry was killing a couple Marauders of Khorne, so, like, but it would bloat their roster a ton to add, like, you know, each marked type for each subtype. So I don't know how they're gonna do it. Yeah. They could get some flavor stuff. You know, like maybe Morgur's specific faction gets to take a couple Tzeentch demons, or, you know, like you said, like maybe Morathi's specific faction gets to take some Slaanesh demons. You know, if they don't do that, I'm sure people will make mods to add that in for campaign flavor. I would love to see that in multiplayer, though. Like, I just really... it would be a lot of fun. Yeah. Probably... Khorne has the most potential to be the weakest, I think. Because they are very much one-dimensional. You know, very limited ranged options, no magic, just melee rush, basically, and that's it. So, I think they have the most potential to be cheesed, or to be cheesy, kind of like the vampire counts, which means they could potentially be very strong, or they could be potentially very weak. Depending on matchups, I don't know. Nurgle, I think, will be the easiest to play, to a degree. I think it'll be kind of like Dwarfs and Coast. More so Dwarfs now, I guess, but it'll be very tanky, right? Hard to kill, very forgiving in terms of losing HP, but very unforgiving in terms of positioning because they'll be very slow. Tzeentch is going to be probably high ability micro, right? So if Khorne is like positional rush micro, which is to a degree hard, but it's, you know, sometimes you have to make less mistakes than your opponent and you're forcing mistakes with that playstyle, right? So, yeah, Tzeentch will be a lot of ability micro, obviously a lot of magic, very magic reliant. It's hard to say, probably a lot of specialist traits, which means they could be very good or they could be not great, but they'll probably be, why? Steam, why you do this? Anyway. Oh, nope, there we go. Okay, anyway. Yeah, Slaanesh is going to be probably the fastest, and it'll be like Elves in a way. Like, very micro-intensive, somewhat unforgiving, like your units will probably be glass cannon, like do a ton of damage, and be very fast, but probably squishy. Yeah, I'm just guessing here. That's pure speculation, but just from what we've seen of Khorne, I can say with more certainty that that's how they'll play. But, Slaanesh will be super cheesy and kitey. We'll see. Demon summons, including for Chaos Aligned factions. That could be interesting. One thing, actually, that may affect, like, Norska and Beastmen is giving them some of the Chaos lores of magic. Like, if we do get, I guess, 3 lores of magic, one for Tzeentch, one for Khorne, one for Nurgle, then I'm sure we'll see casters, or I would really hope at least we'd see casters for Norska and for Beastmen, and for Warriors of Chaos, undivided, that we'd see casters for those Lores of Magic also be added to those factions. And, like, potentially if Lore of Nurgle has healing, and they add that Lore of Magic to Chaos, Beastmen, and Norska, that actually would change a lot. Like, potentially. Or, you know, like, whatever Lord of Tzeentch, it's probably insane, right? So I would really like for them to do that. I don't know if they will, but Demon Summons would also be an interesting one. Again, if they don't make it, then people will definitely do it for mods for the campaign. So that's the great thing, is like, if you can think of something awesome, probably, if Creative Assembly doesn't do it, someone else will. And that's the great thing about the modding community, too. With everything all together, all the assets, you know, cohesive in one game, there's so much possibilities for crossovers and different stuff. Implying High Elves do a ton of damage. Yeah, well, you know. High Elves are going to be even more of a hard counter against vampire counts, though, once the fire damage change gets added in, because, oh man, they got a lot of fire damage. Same for Empire. Empire, that matchup will get quite a bit better. It's actually maybe slightly vampire counts favored right now, coming from an Empire player's perspective. But anyway, let's go over the builds here for Beastmen. We've got 4 throwing axes, a couple of Warhounds, Minotaurs, 2 Minotaurs, very interesting. Gorbel with Malagor and Butchers of Kalkengard in the center, 4 Spears, Marauder Horsemen, 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, quite fitting. We've got some Poison Warhounds, Knights with Lances, Chaos Warriors, and Marauders mixed in, Mirror Guard in the back, and the Demon Spew as kind of an ace sweeper here. Yeah, Chaos Lord is the pick. On horseback here with a Chaos Sorcerer, Lord of Fire on foot. Very nice. Malagor actually not in too much danger of getting gooned by, like, Manticores or Dragons here, which is nice to see. He can mostly chill for the time being, just utilize his magic. Speaking of which, what's he got? Is that Savage Dominion or Devolve? Oh, looks like, actually not Devolve. I forget what that one is called. Traderkin, that's it. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. Nice, Vile Tide, though. Detonating a few Marauders here. And let's see. Minotaurs, Marauders, Chaos Warriors moving in. Nice engagement for the Beastmen. Those Marauders going to get absolutely butchered. The Minotaurs themselves, though, definitely taking a lot of javelins. Got a big old roast. I mean, oh, it does clip that second unit of Ungors pretty well, actually. Will it run all the way into this third unit of Ungors? Oh man, that's actually really nice RNG. Because, maybe not totally nice. It actually just barely clips them, but it does hit them. A Mirror Guard moving into the center here. The Forsaken also moving in. They are going to get owned by Minotaurs, but they'll also do a lot of damage in return. Cascading Firecloak actually putting them up to 51 melee defense. Very nice use. 71 weapon damage. They will actually turn that fight around pretty well, but Chaos Lord, he pops Filth Mace, but at the same time has to run for his life because Gorbel is just so angry about everything. You know, so angry about getting punted around all over the place, so now he's here, and he wants blood. Oh yeah, Gorbel's awesome, man. With the Butchers of Kalkengard, the actual moo cows, look at these guys. Oh yes, the Dark Powers are pleased at this. Oh, so cool, dude. I love the Butchers of Kalkengard. It's like, as Minotaurs, they are definitely my favorite. Just the fact that they're that iconic, kind of painted, not painted, but you know what I mean, dappled, classic black and white cow, but just so angry. They got the shields too. Oof, nice Vile Tide right on those Mirror Guard. And let's take an overall look at the battlefield. We got some more Forsaken here getting swarmed by Hounds. They will actually take a surprising amount of damage from that, but the Demon Spew totally won out that engagement on the side there. Probably got a ton of value in the process. Malagor now running for his life. Malagor doesn't have a lot of armor, only 15, so the Demon Spew can catch him. I mean, 67 weapon strength on Forsaken is just so ridiculous. Unfortunately, Forsaken are very squishy. But man, Malagor is in trouble. He gets now surrounded. Demon Spew can also poison him, slow him down potentially here. He's not a complete pushover. 50-45 with decent weapon strength as well. And some Centaurs come in to bail him out. So Malagor survives that attempt on his life, but has it left him scarred and deformed is the question. Oh man, a little bit of a mistiming. Maybe should have waited on that. Could have got a really juicy roast on these Centaurs with throwing axes here, but that's fine. Chaos Knights are still quite healthy, and that is an expensive, very powerful unit to have in the late game. And they charge across the field, just impaling these Centaurs, forcing them away. Oh yeah. Any that get caught up here are just going to get dragged down in a big, big hurry. Forsaken also aiding in that a little bit. Gorbel now gets separated here. Yeah, Malagor meets his fate against the Sorcerer and the Lord here. And where's the Chaos managed to take home the win? It was looking a little bit grim there for a second. But that Demon Spew engagement on the side, man, really nice. Forsaken are a unit that, if deployed correctly, can be very powerful, but they are just the epitome of a glass cannon. Very low defense, okay armor. Actually, 85 armor, that's higher than I remember. But, yeah, Minotaurs don't have much armor. They usually take too much poke from archers. I agree, and from the javelins and everything else, hey, HW, man, thanks. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, Traderkin, that's the one, yep. But the Forsaken against Minotaurs is an interesting one. So they both just kind of butcher each other, right? But that Cascading Fire Cloak to help the Demon Spew especially have more melee defense. They can stand up a little bit better, which is the Calgon Guard. They are the shielded variant, which, you know, they do have the most armor. They have that nice 55% missile block chance. So if you're going to take Minotaurs, arguably they are the best ones, but their damage output can be a little bit lackluster sometimes in comparison to the other Minotaurs because they don't have the bonuses and everything. But yeah, nice attempt by Biblington. Billy Bunny's here, really nice counter build. Yeah, the Forsaken definitely shining. Chaos Knights with Lances doing pretty well, not getting challenged too hard. The Marauder Horsemen do work as well. A lot of kill numbers on the Burning Heads there, pretty impressive, honestly. Gorbel doesn't quite get the engagements he needs to, but fun stuff. Anyway, let's go ahead and get the next competitor in. Right? Yeah, Minotaurs I feel like should have like 50 armor probably. So anyway, let's get the next competitor in here. Got Pugnobon up next, and I'm going to put some music on and just go grab something real quick. I'll be right back while we wait for him. Guess I'll get a new map locked in as well. Let these guys pick their stuff. Let's do Cliff O Beasts. And I'll be right back. Oh, sorry, just choking on my water for a sec. Anyway, Welcome to Pokemon. Wait for these guys to get... oh, jeez. Don't breathe water, by the way. Pro tip. Yeah, so... Deadly Bunnies now gets the same pick and ban as before. Cool. Hey, thanks, Cetra. Appreciate it. Yeah, the Horsemen were definitely going to be a struggle. But those Forsaken too, man. I was pretty impressed with the performance. Flossing is important. Oh yeah. I'm gonna be alive. So, Dark Elves ban Greenskins and Norska. Force Chaos into the matchups. Yeah, I do like the Cygor there. I do like the Cygor there quite a bit. It's not... I wouldn't take it every time, but it is good, for sure. I don't know, I just feel like the Chariots are better than the Minotaurs, though, because, like, they're just a lot more escapable, right? Like, you can keep the Chariots moving, they're going to keep doing armor-piercing anti-infantry, whereas Minotaurs, I guess, they can also fight monsters, which is a benefit, but I feel like the Chariots, if you, like, pin them in place, you know, you can have other things do damage to the monsters, potentially. I don't know. They're just... Minotaurs are in a weird place. I almost think they need to be, like, less than 1,000 points. Maybe 950 for the base ones, and then they'd be a lot better. Or else they just need to be much stronger. Like, give them... Either reduce their cost below 1,000, or give them, like, 60 armor baseline. Like, 75 for the shielded variant. Oh, all the spicy memes, Poison Ducky. Yeah, this is actually... I get to pick everyone's lords, so it's only meme lords. 950 Minos would be broken. I don't know, though. Would they? Would they? You could still die to, like, one unit of low-tier, you know, skirmishers, like, very quickly. So... would they actually be broken? Versus dwarfs, you always take the Reaper way better than chariots? I don't know. I don't know. I think I would probably still take the chariots there. Like, just all the incidental damage from slayers, from even, like, dwarf warriors, right? Because Minotaur's defense, the dual-hand weapons, is so low. I don't know. The anti-infantry bonus is nice for that little bit of extra DPS, but... Okay, so we got High Elves versus Dark Elves now. Da-da-da... Let me get the Lord picks locked in real quick. Nice. Shielded... here's the thing. I think the base ones should be 950. Shielded ones should be 1,000. The great weapons should be, like, 1,150. I think that would be a lot better. The rest of the Beastmen roster is not great at supporting. I don't know. Just for me, it's like a unit that expensive being that squishy. Like, there are other units that are in that kind of high price range that are not as squishy as them. You know, like, I don't know, I think about other monstrous infantry, you know, even like cavalry in that price range. Like, Wild Riders at least get physical resistance, right? You think about other, like, low armor stuff, like, you know, Crypt Horrors are undead and also have regeneration, right? And again, they're less than 1,000 points anyway. Like, think about, okay, so Animated Hulks, which are already just not a very good unit, actually have a lot in common with Minotaurs, like a lot more than you would think. Minotaurs have higher charge, higher attack, but same weapon strength, right? And probably close to the same melee defense. I'd have to check on that, I don't remember, but... And they're 750 points, right? Animated Hulks are. They're 750 points. So, I don't know. You know, I just look at the Minotaurs in comparison to so many other units, and I'm like, this unit is clearly not as powerful as it should be for the price. I don't know, maybe that's just my opinion. Yeah, they're heavy cavalry speed, which is a consideration. That's why I don't think they should be, you know, 750 by any means. I definitely think they should be more, but like 950 to 1,000, I think, honestly, how their stats are right now is kind of like how I see them. I do think probably it would be a better option to just give them more armor, or give them like a little bit of physical resistance or something. Animated Minotaurs. Minohulks, there we go. Minos were good, you'd see horrific Mino Blob constantly. I don't know, because like even if they were good, like a kite still beats a Mino Blob, even if the Minotaurs are like more cost effective and better. I don't know. Like Minotaurs just as a unit design, I don't think you would necessarily see Mino spam all the time. And you used to. There was a time when Minotaurs were good, and you would see Mino spam. But yeah, right now they're just not great. Haven't been for a while. There was a time when I was using builds that had 2 Minotaurs, like 3 spawn, 2 Minotaurs, plus Morgar, plus 2 casters, also with summons, and that was just gross. I mean, that's more the spawn being cost effective. I don't know, maybe you put the Minotaurs at like 1,000, but spawn are just better, more cost effective. Monstrous infantry. Yeah, Gilrinu full cav would have been nice. I mean, let's think about it this way. Minotaurs went down 150 points, and you're taking 4 of them in a build. That gives you 2 extra Ungor Spearmen, like not even the shielded ones. And you'd even have to find 50 points, because rather they're 325, right? So, do those extra 2 Ungor Spearmen herd make the difference of Beastmen being kited, is my question. Like, would it make that much of a difference? I don't know. I just don't see it. Not user and archer builds normally in terms of the princess. Yeah, I mean the Griffin's nice in a wide build like that, but I typically go with more of a wide hit and run. Unfortunately, you can't summon Manticores anymore, which was actually my kind of preferred, almost like a discount Boris. But yeah. Let's take a look here. What do we got? Dreadlord Sword and Shield is the Lord choice, so of course, the one and only LOC here on her old one. Got a sorceress with lore of fire. Yeah. 3 Cold One Knights, Repeater Crossbow, Scourge Runner Chariots. Bleak Swords, Sad Swords, that is. Very sad. Up against, of course, LOC's counterpart for the High Elves. Gil-gallion, that's right. Generic Prince on a Griffin. Yeah, the Griffin choice is pretty interesting. Again, not as tanky as the Empire Griffins. Less than 4,000 HP for a monster is just ridiculous. But we'll see how he does. No healing once again. We've got a Mage of Shadows. Got some White Lions here in the center. Lion Infantry and Chariots. War Lions out on the flank. So this is a full-on Lion build with the Prince here. And the Heralds of the Wind, Regiment of Renown, Reavers. Ooh, we'll see how this does against the Scourge Runners of Nolosi. I'm a little bit concerned here. This kite is going to be very effective. Is there any monstrous infantry costlier than croc scores that is commonly used? You know, that's a good question. I'd have to think about that for a minute. Shabti Great Bows. They count? They're a ranged monstrous infantry, so maybe that doesn't count. Stone Trolls. Oh yeah, Stone Trolls for sure. Yeah, you don't really see Famir anymore. Famir used to be actually quite good, and then they nerfed him too hard. You don't see Sacred Cock scores are a meme, right? I'm trying to think of other expensive monstrous infantry. Rotting Prometheans, you do see sometimes. I don't know. I mean, there's not that many that are more expensive than Croc scores, to be honest. Minotaurs are one of them, though. Monstrous Infantry, they were a loser in the mass changes, for sure. In some ways, they were also winners, because they don't get their own models don't get knocked down nearly as much. And, you know, they can stop units up better, so in some ways they won, but in some ways they also lost, because now all the infantry they're fighting have much better mass and hold them in place better, you know, like trap their models, potentially kill them. So yeah, it's an interesting place right now for monstrous infantry. Not as good as they used to be, I think, but still very good in the right situation. But yeah, a lot of the expensive ones are not very good right now. Anyway, nice little hit and run charge there from these War Lions. Gil-gallion is in trouble, though. The Scourge Runners are going to start to plank at him. They just have a very dense saturation of targets here. They're going to come in on a charge, though, on those Lion Chariots. Just all pile in, do quite a bit of damage. The Lions themselves are trying to pull these Cold One Knights away, it looks like, which would definitely be a solid engagement. And now turn around and rear charge in. That's going to be bad for those Cold One Knights. They're going to take a lot of damage there, which they really can't afford to take because they're relatively squishy. And Nolosi moves into combat on her Cold One. At the same time, Gil-gallion sweeping down easily terrifies away that Sorceress of Fire, so no spells can be cast. And then overruns into the Dark Riders, so a really nice rush here. And kind of catching the Dark Elves on a back foot to a degree, but things are immediately turned around. Gil-gallion just getting canned here, surrounded by chariots. Nolosi comes in with a steel chair, you know, on the Cold One, cracking that open. Does look like Gil-gallion will escape here, but he took over half his HP and damage in like 2 seconds there, so that was very intense. Yeah, the War Lions moving in. It's funny how quickly things can turn around, though, as immediately Gil-gallion charging back in as his units kind of get the push here. Oh, he's got to be careful, though. All the Scourge Runners are going to focus him now, potentially. Nolosi sweeping up, getting the rear charge, and delivering a unrighteous, just horrific strike. Gil-gallion once again running for his life. Might get finished off by the Scourge Runners here. Let's see. They all miss. One did not contact there, and he is clear, I believe. Last volley coming in. Oh, down to 110 HP. Oh, man. Wow, yeah, just barely squeaks away there. So, High Elves still have some potential, but now comes the timing push from the Dark Elves. With that, Murderous Prowess, Cold One Knights charging in their extra charge bonus. And extra melee attack, just going to do a ton of damage to these white lions here, so that's a problem. Still some lion chariots over here, though, relatively healthy, so that's a good sign for the high elves still. They've got some of the lions themselves coming back from route as well. Can now pile in and try and finish off these Cold One Knights here. Yeah, nice little catch. And the Heralds of the Wind also staying alive. Anyway. Yeah, the Scourge Runners are going to be a problem, though, for sure. They're all still, you know, basically completely healthy. Nolosi getting chased around by lions. Eventually a problem for her. Let's see. They will do some good armor-piercing weapon damage, but she can also punch them pretty hard. 400 weapon strength is really good, actually, with armor-piercing, just for a kind of horse-type mount. So, Cold Ones are pretty decent, honestly, as kind of a monstrous mount. Definitely have a lot of benefits. Decent animations as well. But, yeah, I've got some various buffs popping up here. Flaming Sword of Ruin, it looks like. I can't tell on who, though. Enfeebling Foe coming. Chariots and the Lions getting routed away. Nice concentration here by Deadly Bunnies to kind of finish off some of these units. It does look like they're going to take the lead somewhat on the balance of power. Lions pile in. All the Lions. And they'll do some damage here. Scourge Runners, you can see, are taking some heat, but they have other isolated targets to potentially go after here. The Caster as well, Mage of Shadows, still a decent amount of HP, but as we've learned, Nolosi can come end her rightly very quickly. So, yeah, Cold One Knights also charging in from behind. And it looks like the Chariots are able to squeak away. That should be pretty much army losses, I would think. Yeah, let's get one last glorious shot of Nolosi coming in here. And that's it. Yep, Griffin. They do have a Griffin mount. A lot of people forget. It's not the best, but it is there, and it's relatively cheap. It's probably the cheapest. Like, if you kit down the Princess, I'd have to look at how much she costs. Might be cheaper than the Phoenix, but it's a very cheap terror tool, basically, if you can take it, but... Oh, right, I love the Chariot play. Yeah, Scourge Runner is very strong here. Nolosi also fighting reasonably well. She kind of took some damage, but also was able to do enough to kind of hold back Gilgalleon's attack. The Lion Chariots didn't quite pay for themselves. Yeah, just across the board, High Elves kind of struggle to be cost-effective, as is typical. GG. Alright, Neckbed, I guess you have to stay a little longer. Let me go to my list here. Looks like we got Dactyr up next. Looks like Migsa had to go to bed as well, which is fine, definitely understand. So, Alric will be on deck for next. Why? Da-da-da. Alright, so yeah, we might actually be able to get to some of the reserves here. Bleak Sword's got a lot of kills. Yeah. A lot of kill totals, which is interesting. You know, a relatively small High Elf army. A lot of that's probably just cleaning up all the sad sword kills. That's what we'd like to see, right? What am I doing? Whoops. Misclick there. Let's see. I should probably pick a new map, huh? Let's keep it in the Chaos Wastes. Let's go for the Southern Chaos Wastes. Map is set. Let's see what we got going on here in terms of picks. They already do the picks and bans. Oh yeah, counts, ban, high elves, wood elves. Okay. Ooh. Oh yeah. That means I get to go all out on my meme picks here, potentially. This is how Clan PE cheers their members. Yeah, as it seems. Yeah, Stalia would be amazing. Southern Realms, you know, / Dogs of War. I would be a huge fan of that. Alright, so, yeah. They're both going vampire counts to troll me. This is specifically to troll me, I understand, that's okay. And let's see here. Both Gorst. Vladfred versus Manfred. There is something that could be better than Gorst versus Gorst. We'll see though. Maybe I'll do Strigoi on foot versus Strigoi on foot. You never know. Isabella versus Vlad. That'd be good. Would be good. Both go for foot Gorst? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, you know, honestly, the thing about vampire counts is even their worst lords are still good, because they still have lore of vampires. Still have Invocation of Nehek. All of them. All of them have Invocation of Nehek, which is definitely the best healing spell in the game. And, yeah, they're all casters, right? All caster lords. Every single one of them. So, just like, as a whole, I would say vampire counts have the most powerful lords in the game. Like, you take, like, each faction's lords as a whole, right? I would definitely say vampire counts are number one. Depending on the matchup, like Beastmen, for example, you can pretty much get away with using whatever lord you want, right? Other matchups you might have to be a little more careful, but see, no one has actually guessed what I actually picked. But hey, Tenor, thanks man, MP. Congrats on the 15K subs. One of the best battle report channels out there. Hey man, thank you. The words very kind, mean a lot to me. Tenor's also nice, so thanks man. Thanks to all you guys, like I said at the top of the stream, like you guys are the reason that I'm doing this. 100%. So thank you all. Blood Knight Lord is one of the best duelists in the game, plus lore vampires with a dragon mount. That is correct. Yes. You've also got Vlad, who is the best foot lord in the game. Like, the best foot-only lord in the game. Sigvald's cool and all, but Vlad, like, has AP and has lore of vampires, and can survive literally anything. So, yeah, Vlad, I would say, best foot lord, right? Gorst is a Mortis Engine Lord, so that automatically gives you, like, even, all memes aside, Gorst is actually very good. In a lot of situations, you have Kemler, who is also, like, one of the strongest foot combat lords, at least temporarily, while you have Krell, and also has an incredible healing item that's just ridiculously strong, passive healing. Yeah. Got all your different bloodlines, who all have their own perks and advantages, very strong in their own ways. Yeah, I mean, we saw in my recent tournament over the weekend, on Friday, actually, we saw, who was it? Voidlulls, that's right. Using the Neck Arc to great effect, right, against Halberd Box with Flock of Doom. So all the lords are good. Even the Master Necromancer still has lore of vampires and is very cheap. Oh, you got it. Necromancer versus Necromancer. Balchinian versus Balchinian. Yes. The only way this could be done, to be honest. Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, look at this guy's face. Oh, he's gone. Yep. Anyway. So, Master Necromancer is here. He is the ugliest lord in the game. Or definitely one of them. Look at him. Look at him. Yep. It's Haggard screaming, too. Yes. So, for Deadly Bunnies here, got a couple of support necromancers. One of them is literally has nothing. I'm confused by this. He literally has no spells or abilities whatsoever. This guy doesn't have a Forbidden Rod. Did he meant to take the Forbidden Rod and just forgot to, I wonder? Anyway, does have a Mortis Engine, Claude Nagash, Balefire Corpse Cart, which is a nice pick here. Another Balefire Corpse Cart. Interesting. So trying to shut down the opposing Necromancers Winds of Magic. We've also got some Crypt Ghouls here. A ton of Vargeist, 3 Vargeist, 4 Vargeist, including the ROR, and Fell Bats. Aw, look at this. Aw, so nice. Spelling out Dov with the zombies here. We've got some Skeleton Warriors, a Mortis Engine as well. Skeleton Spears. Yeah, yep, this player here, Dactor, has gone for more of an air build. Also Vargeist, 2 of them, but 2 Terrorgeist. He's got Vampirus of Shadows up in the air, and his Master Necromancer is appropriately mounted on an Unholy Lodestone Corpse Cart. Got Gaze of Nagash, both of them bringing Gaze of Nagash. Pretty hilarious. A very strong magic missile. Ah, so nice. These guys are so sweet. I know, right? The Necromancers with nothing. I have questions. I have some questions for Deadly Bunnies. You could address this, please? He's probably only like 150 points. Honestly, like maybe 200 points. Oh my, look at that. I've never noticed that before. There's like somebody's hand is just like holding on to his dagger. Like, dude, what? Why? Like, I get it, you wanted that dagger, so you, like, chopped that guy's hand off and he wouldn't let it go. Oh, he's got the rest of the dude back here. Oh my god. These necromancers, dude. What is wrong with necromancers? He's literally carrying around Brody here. Poor Brody. Just getting impaled. Oh man, the haggard screams of necromancers have to be some of the best sound effects in the whole game. Ooh, 1,000. Wow, perfect 1,000. Is that what it's about? Is getting a perfect 1,000? Oh yeah. Still my beating heart. Is that this build? Oh man, look at this. Look at what's about to happen here. Ooh, nice Claw of Nagash. Ooh, nice breath attack. Does actually fell a Vargeist. Bats come in to intercept here. Devils of Schwarzhofen are going to get somewhat caught up. And definitely the critical mass of Vargeist moving is going to be pretty important. But let's see if the Terror Gooses can get over in time. Oh man, they just got to stick together is the biggest thing. Ooh, nice Gaze of Nagash in there. Big old Dance Macabre, I would imagine. Yep, upgraded Dance Macabre here. Still not doing that much damage. And it does look like the Red Necromancer, the Red Chromancer, is getting the better end of this engagement. It's kind of hard to tell, to be honest. This is just a mess. Like, what? This is what everyone wants to see, right? Very interactive gameplay. Terrorgeist actually getting stuck momentarily because it literally cannot move because there's so much happening. But I wonder what it's like to be... Like, let's get the POV from this corpse cart right here. Like, this dude right here just has the view of a lifetime. Stuff's just falling on him, you know? We've got the Necromancers... Or, sorry, the Mortis Engines now bumping into each other very appropriately. I mean, this is the correct way to counter Mortis Engines with a Mortis Engine, is to just run them straight into each other. So that's fine. And it does look like the Red Chromancer investing in the Geese, the Terror Geese, were a very good play here. They will end up winning out this air engagement, and that's a lot of value from those Vargeist gone. Once that's done, the Geese can turn up their attentions to the Corpse Carts, of course, and the Mortis Engine. Yes. Look at this interactive gameplay here. Master Necromancer fighting the two Padawans here. Where is the... other master? Where's the blue Necro? He get dead already? No way. Oh, he's still in here. Okay. He's actually fighting the Mortis Engine, which is a good call. Look at these guys, just having a conversation. Talking about dead things. This is the best. Does Mortis Engine affect flyers? That's a good question. Let's check. Yes, it does. I can see the little tooltip down here. See if we look at the Goose and see Reliquary Corruption. That is the damage effect. Was active while he was flying there. Oh, yep. All that death and still no lives lost. Thank you for not making me sit through the rest of that battle. I appreciate that. Deadly Bunny's here wanting to go to sleep. After losing that air engagement, it's just like, you know what? I think that's it for me. And they spare us all the misery of having to watch the rest of that battle. Not social distancing at all. Oh no, zombies. I mean, they are. Anti-vax, anti-mask. It's the Monster Mash. The Monster Mash was a grayed out smash, right? Straight up. Straight up smash. Yeah, a round of applause for me, for Deadly Bunnies, for conceding and not subjecting us to the rest of whatever that was. Yeah, that was a good one. Oh, let's hope that that never happens again. Anyway, looks like Alric's up next. And I believe that's him? Is that him? Who is this? Oh, yes, it is Alric. Okay. So, let's go to the other end of the Chaos Waste. Northern Chaos Waste. Yes. I was gonna say, did you meant to bring Rod of Corruption on those Necromancers? Because they definitely did not have Rod of Corruption. Anyway, let's see. Dawimir. Oh man. At least Dawimir, you know, there's like an RNG element to the shooting, right? Like, whoever gets the hits basically on the cannon duel wins, more or less. Or I guess you could all Vanguard with like mass rangers and miners. Which is definitely something that you can do. Mine dispute for 400 years. Grudges must be settled. Looks like Dactor is gonna stick BC. Yes, counts. Dactor sticking with the counts, which means I get to pick another very dumb lord for him. So yeah, we'll see what Alric picks. Alric can pick any faction. He has no restrictions, no bans whatsoever. Oh no. No, no, no. Oh, he's gonna do it. Is he gonna do it? If he does vampire counts again. Again! Don't do it. Don't do it. Alric, no! Oh, Aberash in the nickname. Oh, I've been trolled. I've been had, bamboozled, hoodwinked. Okay. We'll do it differently this time. You know what? We'll do it differently this time. Oh, yes. Let's see here. Back-to-back counts mirror, yes. Yes. Manfred maxed out. You know what we'll do? You know what we'll do? Yes. Yes. The actor must be punished for this. For picking vampire counts with no bans. And allowing this to stand. You will see soon the error of his ways. Evil necromancer cackle. Whoops. Just ham-fisting the volume controls over here, misclicking on everything. Okay, so we got Park Map, Hadrez, Katama. I think that'll probably do it. I don't know if we'll get to UA, unfortunately, today. But, yeah, we'll see. Battle of the Freds. Of the man Freds, perhaps. I don't know if I can do a good Palpatine laugh. Yeah, maybe. Nope, I didn't hit it. That was bad. Nope, let's not do that. Maybe if I practiced it a little bit. Yes, yes. Mortis blob off. We'll see. Shall see. This is a matchup I have never seen, you know, in terms of lords. Granted, I have not seen a lot of counts versus counts because I try and avoid it as much as humanly possible. But get an A for effort. May the force be with you. Thanks, man. Yeah, there was an attempt. That's all I can say, is there was an attempt. Oh, yeah. Kind of funny, we lost like 20 viewers when we started doing that vampire count mirror. And I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at all. Oh, man. 85 likes, though. Wow, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. A little delayed on that. That's okay. It did come through eventually. Here we go. So, what did I do this time? Well, the actor obviously is too weak for choosing vampire counts again, so he gets punished by having to be little brother. What I mean by that is, there's in fact a big brother and a little brother lord on the vampire counts roster. So over here we've got little brother, right? Or no, hang on, that's not right. Yes, over here, see? Over here we've got little brother. He's, you know, up and coming in the world, excited to be here. And as you can see on the other side, we've got Big Brother. Big Brother actually has better stats, higher attack, higher defense, higher charge by 5 as well. He's got 10 more leadership. He's got about 300 more HP, better abilities. Let's see, they both have this Ghoul King of Ushoran, which is a kind of a quick heal, right? They both have Claws of Morkane. Strigoi Lord has the Opal Amulet. And, is that actually it? I thought he for sure had different abilities. Maybe I actually should have thought about this a little bit more. It's basically the same Lord, but, you know, one of them has Gaze of Nagash, one of them has the Summon. And yeah, instead of Yeah, instead of these, actually, I was going to say, I think he has different abilities, but that's right. He doesn't get the damage resistance, he gets smaller buffs, and Opal Amulet as well. So yeah, Big Brother versus Little Brother, and once again, spelling out my name. Absolutely love it. We've got zombies, skeleton spears, zombies, Mortis Engine, and over here, Mortis Engine. The Big Brother. Big Brother does have another Goose, along with a couple of Var guys. We've got a Mortis Engine, Necromancer on an Unholy Lodestone. No, Balefire. Balefire Corpse card. Love the Balefire pick in this mirror. Actually quite good. Bunch of zombies and spears as well. So, once again, we're going to have an air fight. Nice distant breath attack. Doesn't really do too much. But let's see. There are more single entities in the air squad of Little Brother. I get a Z for this result. Yeah, probably. Oh man, but look at this. Big Brother's force moves in. They're just bullying the one Goose here. Little Brother's Goose is just getting absolutely stepped on. And he can really only sit and watch. I mean, he does pop his stuff, and he is chewing this one Vargolf unit quite effectively. The other Vargolf's also turning. We've got the Devils of Schwarzhof and literally fighting themselves. But let's get a close-up of that and just appreciate it for what it is. The Balefire Corpse Cart being underneath here is actually pretty important, because what it means is that Little Brother is not going to be able to cast any spells whatsoever if he uses any. So Curse of Years on him, 26 or 24 melee attack down, 24% speed as well. Yeah. Goose is going down, but at the same time, Little Brother gets a hold of Big Brother's Goose, and that's not going to be fun at all. Big Brother's victorious Vargeist, though, are now moving in, and it does look like, as expected, Big Brother's Air Force will win it out. I guess there is still this one Vampiress here who is completely healthy. She might be able to turn things around, but nope, Doctor withdraws. Yep. Yep. There's your punishment, Dactor. You have to take literally a worse version of the same Lord into the better version of the same Lord. There we go. Now, have you learned? Those might arguably qualify as games. Maybe. Okay, alright, who's up next? Looks like we've got Park Map. Wow. Oh, that was fun. Right when things are getting exciting, right? It's, you know, counts versus counts. As much fun as people would have, you know, actually finishing that battle, I don't think they would actually have much. As much as they would have is probably not much at all, so... both players take max Goose. Yeah, a lot of it's positioning and RNG. Like, your Goose ended up getting, like, 3v1 there for a minute, which was not great. So, single entity combat, more than anything, is about, like, positioning number one, and then RNG number two is a big factor as well. And he did, poor Goose there, he got crumped by RNG. Got, like, 5 hits in a row, I think, from, Big Boy Strigoi. Should have done a course duel. No, your punishment is you literally get to be Little Brother beat up by Big Brother. That's your punishment. You asked for punishment. I was thinking, like, you know, maybe if I just make him take a worse version of the same Lord, that would be appropriate. Punishment. Also a Lord that no one ever brings. Like, literally, you just don't. Just don't. That is true. Vampire Counts versus Vampire Coast. Looks like Alrix is going to go Lizardmen, then Pirates and Dwarfs. Interesting. Okay. And then Park Map goes with Skaven. Alright. Let me think. Lizardmen versus Skaven. I think I know. Think I do know. I think there's only one choice, to be honest. Oh, yes. Ooh, oh, man. Big think. Let's see how this goes. Trench versus Nakai. Not tic-tac-toe, he's actually good here. Yeah, he's actually pretty decent. Hey, see you later, Doctor. Thanks for joining, man. Much appreciated. Could be Nakai versus Tretch. Maybe. Teheno win. Ha! I see what you did there. I should have gone with Teheno win, actually. I do think he's potentially good here as well, though, because he does have Manticore summons, which is good against Skaven. You know. Mobile Terror summons, quite nice. He also can fly. Like Tic-Tac-Toe, but he's a lot more expensive. If Tehenoin were cheaper, he'd actually be very good. But Tretch versus Tic-Tac-Toe? Maybe. Maybe Tretch versus Teheno win. Maybe that's right. Or maybe I go, you know, Red-Crested Skink Chief versus Master Assassin. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, I know, obviously, but... Let's see what we got here. Got just a couple more battles left. After Park Map, we've got Hadrez and Katama, and then I think we're done for the day. So thanks again, everyone who came out. It's been an awesome stream. You guys are the best. Thank you all so much for 15k subs as well. It's been a journey, and we'll keep it going for sure. Ain't stopping anytime soon. I ain't going nowhere. Had a full-on, like, Wolf of Wall Street moment the other day. Apologies, Optimus Pine. Yeah. I've had a lot of good games. You can always go back and watch them. But yeah, we've got 2 more competitors up, plus this battle here, so 3 more battles, potentially. Rats versus lizards, yes. Skink versus rat thing, maybe. Maybe. We'll see. Let's... Wait for it, wait for it. Almost done. Oh, so close. Oh my god. Yes. Nakaya deserves a Dread Saurian mount. That would be hilarious. That would definitely be something. Oh, get a little sleepy. Caffeine. All right. So, some of you guessed correctly on Lizardmen. Of course, who else would it be but the Lollipop Guild man himself, Nakai. Got a Skink Priest, Lore of Beasts, got some Sora Spears, bunch of Jabs, some Pterodons, a Rev Crystal, and a Bow Stag, which is an interesting choice here. I actually like that quite a bit as kind of a counter-artillery tool. Who did the Skaven get, though? Do you see him? Where'd he go? Yes, he's here. Sneaky Rat Boy. One of my favorite lords for the Skaven, the Master Assassin. Yes. His head looks ridiculously big. I guess that's just how Skaven are, but... Anyway, yeah, Master Assassin here, coming in with, less than 3,000 HP. Got Poison Wind Globes, some Skaven Slaves, Engineer, some Giselles, and Rattling Guns. Nice kind of sampler platter of weapons teams here. Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep. Plague Priest. So, a lot of missile tools. Not much infantry punch, a little bit of monster punch, not too much. But let's see how they can do. The weapons teams will have to carry quite hard here. Bowstag can get some damage on them initially. They will outrange them considerably. Oh, yeah. Master Assassin versus Master Healer. Would have been interesting for sure. Nakai flying on a Ripperdactyl. Man, I think he's too thick for that, fortunately. But Bowstag, not quite in range to open up yet. That really surprised me. I guess 360 range is a little bit shorter than I think. Not that much more than the 275 range of the Giselles. So, let's keep an eye on that. Giselles will open up on the Pahawk Sentinels. They do have a bit of physical resistance to go with their missile resistance. They don't take too much heat from that in comparison. Chameleon Skinks also moving in, trying to potentially bait out volleys from the Poison Wind Globes, but they've got to be careful. That Poison Wind effect is going to be really strong against the Chameleons. Their missile resistance will help them resist the actual damage, but yeah, it's not going to be worth it to sit and take the volleys of those globes there in terms of the damage over time effect. They'll do a lot of damage. Skinks don't have a ton of HP, but getting a little tongue-tied here. The Bowstag so far is going after the Globadiers, which the thing about Globadiers is they're so cheap for what kind of value they give you. But Nakai just having to hang back for now. The Master Assassin chilling pretty. But eventually the Giselles do switch onto not the Bowstag. Basically anything that's not the Bowstag is actually arguably okay to take the fire on. Yeah, you can see the Poison Wind Globes, not too much damage on them so far. I might switch on to the Giselles if you could see them, or the Teeth Breakers, Rattling Guns, looking to be a little bit more high value. But yeah, in terms of like actual dangerous units, the Globes are definitely more dangerous than the Rattling Guns. It's kind of weird to think about, but there you go. Even after the Poison Wind nerf, they're still ridiculously cost-effective. One of the most cost-effective units in the game, potentially. Guys looking here. Giselles, the nice thing about the Giselles using their ammo on the Pterodons is, again, it's not Nakai. Anything that's not Nakai, pretty much, or any of these high-value tools is going to be good. The Rev Crystal, I don't know if it's already used some of its healing, but, ooh, Master Assassin's got to be careful. He's coming forward exposed. Doesn't have a whole lot of armor, a little bit of physical resistance, but he is going to get lit up by blowpipes here. He might potentially eat a Javelin Volley as well. Doesn't actually take tons of damage, but let's see. The Javelin Volley. Happy Javelin Day! He is very small. That's his one benefit in this type of a situation, is he is one of the smallest lords in the game in terms of hitbox. So actually that Javelin Volley didn't do anything at all. I thought that was going to be a lot more effective than it was. But that's okay. Saurus and Skink's going to be hit by that volley of globes. Really nicely placed. Skink cohort do get in against this chaff. It will be one of the few units they'll do fairly well against. Looks like we've got a Manticore summon online as well, so those weapons teams are in potential danger. Howling Warp Gale over here, trying to take out those Pterodon Riders. The Teeth Breakers open up on them. The other Razordons, not Razordons, Pterodons here, relatively healthy. They're going to come back over, but look at the Master Assassin just getting straight up bullied by Nakai. This is, you know, potentially what I wanted to happen is big, thick Nakai on the Manticore. Oh, that mean Manticore. That was just rude. That poor Master Assassin getting isolated here just gets canned. He might come back. There's still plenty of Skaven forces left. Their, you know, chances in the battle aren't quite finished, but he is a squishy boy for sure. Stegadon taking some damage over time from the Giselles there. They do have quite a bit of ammo, but is it enough to actually finish off the Stegadon is the question. Bastillodon, Rev Crystal here taking significant damage from the Rat Ogres, but they quickly get routed by the Sora Spheres with the help of that Terror there. Manticore pursuing into the backline, trying to chase down the Master Assassin. He does pop concealment bombs. Not currently, he's still currently spotted, I should say, but the Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep come over here. Stegadon's going to use its charge bonus, 70 charge bonus, charge in, just punch him right in the teeth. So things are looking a little grim for Skaven at this point. They still have a lot of weapons teams online. The Rattling Guns have not used up much of their ammunition, so they, yeah, looks like they finished off the Pterodons there. They also can help potentially finish off some of these monsters, Nakai as well, obviously. So as the Skaven stuff starts to rally and they kind of flow back in, the Manticores will disappear soon as well. So although it looks quite grim, ooh, this Plague Priest taking a lot of damage though is not great. That's a pretty expensive, important target here. Mortis effect will be quite good in the late game. Got some Plague Monks summoned that could potentially come in and bail out, but it looks like they're going to go after those Chameleons. The Chameleons just moving in to fight the weapons teams and Slingers in melee, which they have poison, and it is arguably better to just bog the unit down rather than, yeah, just allow them to keep firing. Plague Priest gets routed off here, but the Rout Ogres do come back from rout. They are going to get some damage here, potentially turn around to the Stegadon. The Poison Wind Globes also, I think that, are they targeted on the Skinks here? I'm not exactly sure, but they definitely want to be going after the Stegadon as much as possible. Their missiles do a decent amount of damage to it, as well as the damage over time effect. It all helps. But Nakai actually looks like the Rev Crystal's been topping him up, and he is quite healthy still. Moving up in the line, just having a grand old time. Just frolicking. I love Nakai's frolicking animation. Teeth Breakers, Rattling Guns unleash a devastating volley on the Rev Crystal, but it's not quite enough to finish it off. Plague Priest is rallied though, potentially get some summons back in this, so like Skaven are scrapping. It might look like they're losing, but this is actually just how Skaven fight, right? Like this Stegadon over here gets isolated. The Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep come back from rout. Unfortunately, the Spear support doesn't stay. They just run away, but that's kind of to be expected. But yeah, this engagement, we'll have to kind of keep that in the background as it plays out. Stegadon definitely taking significant damage there. Nakai does get into the weapons teams, though. Plague Priest, it looks like, got straight up smashed by Nakai, so no more summons to hold back. Skink Tide. Man, look at these chameleons fighting the weapons teams and Skaven Slaves in melee. They're so cute. Got the little lizards on their arms. Little poison toads. Rather, yeah. Looking pretty good for the Lizardmen. Bounce Power still likes the Skaven quite a bit for some reason. Not exactly sure why. The Skaven Lord is still alive, right? Yeah, he's here. He has popped the Looming Dread on Nakai, which has debuffed his missile resistance. Oh, what didn't last very long, though, and the Chameleon Skinks quickly finished off the Assassin's leadership there. Another globe being tossed on said Chameleons, and they are going to get quickly drained out. We've got some more Skaven Slaves chasing off these Chameleons, so, you know, the Lizard push is starting to get a little bit strung out. Nakai, quite overextended. He does have some more support way back here, but, yeah, it's going to be tricky for the Skaven because of the terror situation. They almost have got rid of one terror-causing monster. Only this one left for the Rev Crystal, but it is going to be important. Ooh, Nakai just eating the Rattling Guns right now. That is really painful. You can see the Chameleon Skinks are doing their best to try and pursue. Actually get into the Rattling Guns, stop them from firing, which they do. These Skaven Slave Spears shatter, so they can't be of any help. And things are now ticking in the Lizardmen's favor as some of these units begin to shatter and rout. Some of them get compromised. Route Ogre's making a valiant charge here, but here comes Nakai. Oh, oh, just clubs that one on the back of the head. Oh, this guy wants some. Oh, he wants some. Oh, oh, nasty tail slap there. Just so shameful. Wow, that guy just straight up fell over for nothing. And, yeah, the Poison Wind Globes still trying to do their best to keep in the fight. We do have the Jezzail's little bit of ammo coming back from Route, trying to finish off that Rev Crystal, which does pop another healing proc on Nakai. Oh, man, that healing proc will tick the balance power up pretty considerably. Ooh, and Stilled on charge. Doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does knock over a couple of the pit fighters here. They might be able to finish. But the bow stag is back as well. Look at that. A little bit of HP on that guy. He's got the ability to now fire at a range, apply that attacked by artillery debuff. But the hidden Jezzails here, or the Teeth Breakers rather, rattling guns, concealment bombs popped on them. Might be able to open up with a volley to finish off that Stegadon. Let's see. Ooh, just a couple of shots land and it puts him immediately into wavering. Skaven definitely not out of this, but I think probably when this Jezzail runs out of ammo, that's going to be it. But the terror tools are gone, though. Look at this. Rev Crystal is gone. The bow stag just gets straight up finished by the Teeth Breakers. It's up to Nakai, pretty much, at this point, to finish off. But Skaven do hit army losses at that point, it looks like. Wow, that was actually closer than it looked. Surprised about that army losses, but hey, that's how it goes. Rev Crystal and Nakai always had a good bit of synergy. It's true, Nakai is one of the better use cases for Rev Crystal, right? Keep his health topped up, and if you don't, as long as you don't take too much shock damage all at once, and you can continue to use the charges of the Rev Crystal, Nakai will do quite solid. The Rev Crystal itself, pretty good damage also. I mean, the healing plus the damage absolutely paid for itself. Bow Stag, kind of as a pressure tool, is good here, even though it doesn't necessarily pay for itself. Skin Cohort Jabs do a decent job. Sora Spears also decent. Interesting to not see the shields on them, but is arguably more cost-effective. Chameleons do their thing. On Park Map side, yeah, poor little Master Assassin got owned there. Came a little too far forward. Almost more of a missile support lord, to be honest, and his own range is relatively short, but yeah, the Globadier is obviously carrying quite well here. Rattling guns do pay for themselves, as do the Jezzails, so all the weapons teams are actually well protected and do pay out. Rat Ogre's pretty close. Ultimately, it was just, yeah, losing kind of the characters here was a problem for sure. Alric able to pretty decisively win that character fight, so GG indeed. Hadris is already in here. So let's go to... let's see here. We'll do Storm Demon. Just hilariously tiny deployment zone. Looks like Alric thinking of going Wood Elves. Oh, yeah, that was fun. Nice back and forth on that one. There were a few times where I thought Skaven were in a pretty commanding position, but Nakai's bunker bust with the Manticores was a nice disruption. Anyway, hey, thanks Parkmac. Thanks for joining. It was a great one. Appreciate it, man. Okay, just a second, guys. Okay. Anyway. Wood Elves ban Bretonia and Dwarves. Okay, so... Okay. Alright. Alric. Ooh, thinking. For Alric and for Hadris, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Oh no, Wood Elf Mirror! Oh no, he's sticking Empire, okay. Oh, and then for Hadra's Empire. Yes, that'll do. Oh, fun stuff. Got to see some Empire today. That makes me happy. So excited for Kislev, though, guys. I hope you all are as hyped as I am. I'm actually going to go put something away real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. And back. Oh, little stretch there. Oh man, I just went for a run earlier today, but I feel like I need to do a second workout almost. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I am very curious to see what they do with KOTH as well. Yeah. I'm expecting a lot of high fantasy stuff, like kind of like what we've seen with Kislev. Like a lot more, yeah, fantasy elements, like monsters and stuff. I would expect they're probably going to be the most monster heavy of any human faction, I would imagine. Probably have gunpowder units as well, although we'll see. I don't know, honestly. They could do a lot with them. Could do a lot with them. Ogre Kingdoms too should be a lot of fun whenever that gets added. They're not going to be on release, I don't think, but Ogre Kingdoms and Chaos Dwarfs both will be great possibilities for DLC factions. I know Ogre Kingdoms is one that a lot of people are excited. Probably, actually, that's one of the ones I'm most excited for. Kislev first. Probably, honestly, Ogre Kingdoms or Tzeentch, like second and third, kind of switching places. And KOTH number 4. KOTH stuff is cool, don't get me wrong. It's just, like, not 100%. Like, I like, you know, Three Kingdoms is pretty cool, like Dynasty Warriors, that kind of stuff, like that kind of aesthetic. I'm a fan of, but I don't know. It's something about the Ogre Kingdoms. It's just silly, very silly. They're kind of like the Greenskins / Skaven with that very murderous slapstick humor. It's a faction whose religion is literally eating, so, I mean, how can you be sad about that? Dwarfs with magic, monsters, and mobility, yes, but I'd imagine their shooting is not going to be as strong, and they're also, like, all those units are going to be very expensive as well. Like, they'll probably have some chaff in their roster, but their units are going to be, their, like, kind of mainline core units are going to be quite expensive, I think. I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how Chaos Dwarfs balance out, because, like, from a balance perspective, Dwarfs should have the best shooting in the game. Just, like, that's... And they should have some of the best infantry in the game, right? Because that's the only thing they have, basically. Infantry and shooting. So, I would imagine then that from a balance perspective, like, Chaos Dwarfs will probably have worse shooting. They'll probably have slightly worse infantry as well. But, of course, gain mobility, magic, like other things like you said. They're not going to have the magic resistance, though, which is a pretty big factor. That means, you know, those kind of big bunker-busting damage spells, you know, vortexes and such will be that much better against Chaos Dwarfs. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they balance them in. Anyway, for the Wood Elves, we'll start here. We've got a Spellweaver of High Magic up in the air, side saddle on an eagle. Just Soul Quench and Apotheosis, interesting. A Zote. One single Zote, got a bunch of Glade Gourds with mixed arrows. One Starfire Shaft, I see, a couple Starfire Shafts. No Hagbane tips. Got some Spears. Glade Riders with Spears, some Dryads in the back, Eternal Guards. Pretty typical stuff. And of course, for the Empire, who else would it be but Balthazar? Oh yeah, Balthazar with two of his accomplices. We've got a Beast Caster and a Fire Caster. Battle Wizards, definitely going to battle. One thing to note about the Beast Caster is he actually has 50 melee attack. Less melee defense, but I never knew that, actually. Some Knights of the Blazing Suns here. We've got Spearmen with shields. Huntsmen as well. Can fire on the move as they're advancing. Going to get a couple shots. Oh, man, that Soul Quench literally hit all three of them. That's insane. Wow. Interesting. And Balthazar took quite a bit of damage despite having both magic and missile resistance. He's got 25% magic, 25% missile resistance. That's interesting. That did a lot more damage than what I was expecting because of that. But anyway, Halberdiers, Huntsmen, Spearmen. So relatively basic builds on both sides. Let's see how the Huntsmen trade into the Glade Guards. They are similar cost. Glade Guards do have slightly better damage, better range, I believe, 170 range. But they are going to allow the Huntsmen to get in range. There's not much of a difference there. So pretty similar. Knights of Blazing Sun also pushing forward, trying to catch some units out of position here. There are some Glade Riders on station, though, and some Eternal Guards, so yeah, those Knights of Blazing Sun got to be a little bit careful. They are kind of charging into a little bit of a trap. It's a trap! Oh, man, they are going to get good engagement, though. Nice Flock of Doom on the Wood Elves as well. That was quite a bit of damage on a relatively expensive unit, though. We'll see. For now, both players just squaring off and shooting. Got some more casts going on. Might have been an overcast there for the Amber Wizard. It looks like it lasted quite a decent amount of time, and he also took some overcast damage, potentially. But let's see. Yeah, really nice focus fire here from the Huntsman, already evaporating one of the Glade Guards. Same thing happening to the Huntsmen themselves, though, as one of them gets finished off. Soul Quench, popping Balthazar. See, that one didn't do as much. That's kind of more in line with what I would expect, but a really nicely placed Burning Head. It's going to absolutely massacre two Eternal Guards. That was brutal. That was literally perfect. So that's pretty good. Might overrun, actually, into these spears. Let's keep that in view, and it does get the spears. Oh, mostly just the spears, not a little bit of the Dryads, but oh man. Yeah, so a little bit of a trade, but value-wise, that was definitely good for the Empire. The Halberdiers now moving forward to kind of fill in the gaps left by the Spearmen. Yeah, not a great engagement for these Knights of Blazing Sun. They kind of got hung up on the spears, now getting rear charged by the Glade Riders. So, focus fire here. One more Huntsman down. We've got, yeah, 3 more to go. There's 5 more healthy Glade Guard. Because the Glade Guard have variants, you can actually just take more of them straight up. So, that is a problem. Balthazar taking these shots. I mean, he'll resist some of the damage, but let's see. Dryads moving in, facing the Huntsman pretty aggressively. Knights of Blazing Sun do get into the backline here and get a nice charge on one of these units of Glade Guard here. They're going to do quite a bit of damage there. Halberdiers also push through and actually get on another unit of Glade Guard, so the Empire Infantry kind of helping to even this fight out. Zotes don't really want to engage on these Halberds, obviously, so they're just going to stand back for now, but those Knights got through. They just about finished off one unit, which might end up being enough. You can see the Empire kind of kiting back here. Huntsmen then isolate a bunch of these units, whereas the Wood Elves are also kind of isolating these units, pushing into the back line. But we'll see. This Halberdier now getting side-shotted, front-shotted, just shot from every direction, pretty much, as Balthazar helps to finish off the backline pressure of the Wood Elves. So really nice back and forth here. Definitely too close to call at this point. But a nice rear engagement for these Dryads, taking out some of those Halberdiers. Nice kind of concentration of force there. Just nuke them, do a bunch of damage, very quickly route them away. Knights of Blazing Sun do get finished, but the Halberdiers are holding for the time being. Let's see, they may end up routing here, but Knights here are going to get charged by the Zotes. Do have a bit of magic resistance, but Will Hadris notice. Looks like they are going to... Ooh, they just barely squeak away there. But some other Knights of the Blazing Sun, actually, the ones that are fleeing, kind of block them up. We've got another Soul Quench. Balthazar trying to cut and move. Ooh, gets headshotted by that. Man, that still does a lot of damage. But the Zotes, only 60 armor on them. And now only 30 armor on them. The Huntsmen moving in to just get it done. The Battle Wizards here, there are the 2 Battle Wizards left. So even if Balthazar does go down here, I mean, they'll still have some leadership. The lack of cavalry for the Empire is a little bit of a problem. As long as they can keep these Knights of the Blazing Sun alive. I mean, there's really not a lot of them to try and sweep and clean up. But like going and chasing these routing, or regrouped rather, Dryads, getting a charge on them, you could probably finish them off pretty quickly. But a late game Manticore summon for the Empire as the Spellweaver charges in. You can see the Manticore was pulled up to try and get a rear charge on her. It does look like she'll be able to escape though. And get back up into the air. At the very least, is going to be pressured away by the Manticore. And while that's up, the Knights of the Blazing Sun can move in and try and finish some of these units. The Knights and the Halberdiers moving. Oh, yeah, they charge kind of through the Eternal Guard there. Do get some damage on the Zotes. Zotes have Flesh to Stone active, giving them a whole bunch of extra armor. But we'll see. Halberdiers moving in from the other side. So double Halberdier collapse there. And the Manticore did not get a hold of Spellweaver, but it looks like, ooh, she's going to dive down back here on Balthazar. Balthazar gets kicked over. Will he rout? Hard to say. Ammo now being expended on the summoned Manticore here. Oh, and the Huntsmen pull up a bead on the Spellweaver. They're going to do quite a bit of damage as well, so some really nice back and forth. Honestly, great game here. The Halberdiers may end up proving to be the decisive factor. Question is, how much ammunition do the Wood Elves have left? And the answer is a decent amount, probably enough to finish 2 tattered units of Halberdiers if they can't finish them in melee, which is a if. I mean, definitely an if. These Dryads still alive. We still got Blade Riders. It looks like a lot of the Huntsmen actually get shattered here, or at least routed, so we'll see. Balthazar is still technically alive, moving back into combat. In terms of the amount of winds of magic, hard to say. He has used a lot of spells of different types, so... Yeah, the Glade Guards, just about out of ammunition here, just about out of ammunition over there. Wood Elves are starting to inch ahead on the balance of power here, and I do think they're in a pretty commanding position. This presence of Halberdiers, though, is going to be a pain to deal with. This unit in particular, with a decent amount of ammunition left, 45 models is definitely enough. Ooh, another nice Soul Quench as well. Ooh, doesn't quite finish Balthazar, but puts him down below 300 HP. He's hiding in the trees from the Soul Quench. And the Dryads do rout once again. Got some more Halberdiers coming back over here. We've got a little bit of a pitched fight developing over here as these Spearmen get engaged. They're probably going to get backshot by the Glade Guards and routed, though, I would imagine. Yep, Glade Guards also shooting on the move. A little bit of damage in there. Blade Riders start to shatter some of these units here, and yeah, this mobile pressure cleaning up these tattered units is going to be very important in the late game. Look at this. The Dryads are just terrified of Balthazar here. Kind of hilarious. Oop. Oop. Will he go down? Balthazar does have magic resistance in melee, right? So he can fight the Dryads relatively well. Oh, he might rout too, though. He went down to 226, and it does look like Balthazar routs. Resistance, but no armor. It's true. It's true. I'd have to look at the spell scaling on Soul Quench to see, but it kind of surprised me at the damage. But yeah, it's definitely pretty good. I've been seeing a lot more use of Soul Quench lately, and I do think it's a quite strong magic missile. People were sleeping on it for a while. In a good spot right now. Especially for Wood Elves, can help you deal with artillery, can help you deal with characters. It's a nice versatile tool. Add to your caster's arsenal. Lord level caster specifically. Time magic. That was a scrap though, man. Really nice battle. Little wizards duel. Gelt fleeing from Meek's forest spirits. I know, right? Here's the thing though. These Halberdiers, man, they are resolute with these two Battle Wizards here. Another Glade Guard coming forward. Yeah, it looks like Hadris is going to throw in the towel there. That was a good one, though. Good effort for sure. The Wizards duel ends up coming out in favor of the High Mage as Balthazar gets routed there, but an interesting build. The 5-6 Glade Guards, definitely very strong. Zotes also don't do a ton, but they kind of help tank damage, help at least threaten some things. Dryads do okay, Eternal Guards do okay. Bellweaver also, but yeah, definitely the Blade Guards mostly were the damage carry here. Balthazar doesn't do a lot, but mostly using Plague of Rust. Really nice Burning Head on the Bright Wizard. That got a ton of value. Yeah. Huntsmen, really nice value on them too, for the most part, as you would expect. Knights of the Blazing Sun, a little bit tough, but that's how it goes sometime. High Mage's meta, Gelt is terrible. Yeah, I should have specified Lore of Magic, maybe Lore of Beasts for the High Mage. But unfortunately, I am going to have to shaft Katam here. I do actually need to leave. It's like 5 o'clock where I'm at right now, and I need to have some stuff I need to get to this evening. So unfortunately, I will not be able to get to Katam and away today, but I will be hosting more King of the Hills going forward. My plan is to try and do it at least once a week. Maybe Monday. Maybe we do it Monday, but probably on another night, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'll probably make an announcement about that next week, so keep your eyes peeled to the Discord. That's it for today. Yeah, sorry Katam, sorry Wei. I'll have to get you guys next time, but... big thanks again, all the competitors, everyone who came out, all the generous donations as well. We had quite a few, so... Yeah, magic change in Game 3 should make Mage Heavy build better. Yeah, that is one thing I didn't talk about too much in my videos, is that the Winds of Magic regeneration is now constant. Like, it doesn't slow down as you get less power reserve. So, yeah, that'll be nice for Game 3. I really hope they do more for Gelt as well. Like, honestly, he could do with a little bit of a rework. He's very plain compared to Game 3 Caster Lords, or Game 2 and 3 Caster Lords, to be honest, but... Oh, do I have to go like this myself? I could go like it on my own account. Here, let me do that on my phone real quick. Is that even legal on YouTube? I don't know. But, hey, there we go. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Oh, no, I don't want to hear myself talking. But here, can I like it? Oh, yes. One more. I'm sure someone will after the fact. So we'll get past that 100 mark. But thank you all so much again. Just to kind of review here. Let me open up this. Okay. And just want to make sure I get all the tips on stream. So yeah, we had Ryan G with a 10 and a 15, and another 10 via 2 5s. Vermicious with 100, big old straight in, and MP with a 10, Nickelback for the 5. Thank you guys all so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. 15k subs, man. What an honor, honestly. And we'll keep it going onwards to the Chaos Realm. Yes, see you guys next time. Thanks again. Bye-bye.